Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream session with ImmigrationQuestion.com, where we dissect the latest immigration trends and policies with top professionals in the field. We're thrilled to have you join us today. Our topic today, business immigration, EB-1, EB-2, and EB-3 pathways for professionals and entrepreneurs, is one that is suited for either skilled professionals, entrepreneurs, or investors looking to establish themselves in the United States. In this session, we'll break down the key differences between the EB-1, EB-2, and EB-3 visa categories, discuss the qualifications and application processes, and explore how professionals and business owners can leverage these options for U.S. immigration success. We'll also cover common pitfalls to avoid and strategies to strengthen your case. My name is Chanel, and I'll be your host for today's session. To guide us through this session, we are honored to have with us a professional in the industry, an attorney who has helped countless professionals and entrepreneurs navigate the complexities of U.S. business immigration. He's a dual licensed attorney in both Brazil and the United States, with over a decade of experience in business immigration law. As a graduate of the University of Miami and a member of the New York Bar, he has built an impressive career assisting individuals and businesses in navigating U.S. immigration pathways. With a deep focus and extraordinary ability, EB-1, EB-2, and EB-3 visas, he has helped countless Brazilians and other foreign nationals successfully navigate and migrate to the United States, whether for employment, investment, or entrepreneurship. His expertise spans not only immigration law, also the legal complexities of cross-border business ventures. Join us in welcoming Dr. Andre Linhares, Esquire. Welcome, Attorney Linhares. How are you today? We're thrilled to have you with us.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. To our audience watching on various platforms, as always, it's about to get exciting. Grab your notepads and pens and let's jump right in. So, my first question for you is, can you give us a quick breakdown of the EB-1, EB-2, and EB-3 visa categories? How do they differ and who typically qualifies for each?
Sure. Yeah, they're based on employment-based categories, so they have their own system, their own visibility. Uh, they're sisters, cousins, but the real difference is sisters and cousins because they all lead you to a green card. So if you have an EB approved, you have the same green card as the EB-3. So I joke about it, right? So there's no green card that's greener than the other. They're all exactly the same. There are different ways, different paths to get where you want it to get, which is have your green card. The main difference between the EB-1, EB-2, EB-3 is they also have subcategories. Is that how complex and difficult it is to get a green card through the EB-1 and through the EB-3, for example. We're not going to touch the EB-4 and EB-5. EB-4 is completely different thing right now. It's not even available. And EB-5 is the investors. Which is also considered employment-based, which is because you have to create jobs. But the EB-1, EB-2, EB-3, they're sisters in one way. But the EB-U is more complex, more difficult. Then comes the EB-2, and then comes the EB-3. And EB-3 on the bottom, there is what we call unskilled EB-3, where many professionals of you don't even have to be a professional, I'm sorry. Anybody with any skill unskilled could qualify for this one.
Thank you. Thank you for that breakdown. Now, for someone considering the EB-2 visa, the national interest waiver sounds like a game changer. Can you explain how that works and who might qualify?
Right. Yeah. The EB-1, EB-2, EB-3. Going back a little bit, usually you can get them through your petitioner or your employer. Or as we know, the sponsor, right? You have to go through your labor, all that complex part of a process, which is not even USCIS yet. But there are one category, and one in EB-1 too, but let's talk about EB-2 and IW, which is where you can qualify, you can actually get your green card being a self-petitioner, which is usually applied through the EB-2 national interest waiver. So you could actually, you yourself, sign a petition, or most likely through your attorney, because it's not an easy case to do by yourself, especially now. But you can get your green card without having a sponsor or company employing you. So that's great. It's very, very good. Uh, you don't need to have any other previous employment experience in the United States or H-1B or L-1, OE, none of those things. You can go straight from, let's say, your tourist visa and straight to a green card.
So, thank you. Now, once someone decides which visa to pursue, what should they expect in terms of the application process and the timeline? Are there major differences between the three types of visas?
That is the main difference right now. The EB-1, this is today, current, so if things change.
Yeah.
Right now, the EB-1, it's the best because it's current. So you can apply for an EB-1 if you are in the United States legally, and you have your status. You may qualify for an adjustment of status, so you can do your whole case already in the United States, get your work authorization, temporary work authorization, and travel authorization as well. And that's the greatest advantage of the 1, 2, and 3 today. So the 1 right now is better because of this, and the 2 and 3, they're going through a little bit of backlog. So you can expect something around, I would say, easily 2 to 5 years to get your between the EB-2 and EB-3 to get your case completely done.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for this information. We're definitely learning a lot today. Um, Next question. For entrepreneurs who don't have an employer sponsor, I know you touched on this, but maybe you can go in a bit more detail. What are the best options to immigrate to the US under these categories?
Right. So if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a sponsor, but you can self-petition and you can sponsor yourself, show a very, very solid business plan. You really need a business plan in this case. You have to really show USCIS how are you going to really benefit the US, how you're going to implement your strategies and your plans, your investments, and all that. So business plan is crucial in this case. But if you have that in place, it's a very, very good process, good case, good application, because you can do everything. You and your lawyer can build the whole case yourselves and file for an EB-2, and just wait a little bit now. But still, it's even with this timing that we're going through, which is absolutely heartbreaking. When you think of we're 2025, but we think of December 2022, the EB-2 were current, the NIW, and the other. There's also the EB-2 through employment, but the NIW, self-employed, they're all the same for the visibility. So December 22 and 2 was the last month that was current. So we're talking about over 2 years or so. So like a lot changed when we talk about those visas being current or not. So we hope that things will eventually get better, and if it doesn't become current, at least becomes closer to current, because right now we're over a year behind in the visibility in anyways. So we're just really hoping for the best in the near future. We don't know what's going to happen. Everything right now is in the limbo, but we just really hope that eventually things will, get themselves in their own place, I guess.
Definitely, for sure. Hopefully everything just evens itself out. That sounds like it could be a really tedious process, and could require some like paperwork management and just lots of organization. Do you have management software in place for this?
You definitely should have something in place, a software, anything that actually would help your firm. Of course, I have a staff that's very, very productive and helps a lot. It is a process, EB-1, EB-2, EB-3, with vast documentation, and it's a process of details as well. And again, remember, it's a process where your client might have, especially in EB-2, EB-3, your client might have to wait a very long time. And that's the there's a huge psychological aspect on a case like this, because you have also to deal with not with the law only, but with the psychological, impact of that waiting, and remember, like clients just, we send our documents, we get our notice of action, and then sometimes, not sometimes, the immigration goes quiet, and many clients don't understand that that's the process. And, oh, did I lose my case? What's going on? Oh, I heard this, I read this on the internet, or that's so, you have to be patient with your client, and absolutely have also a system in place, because it's very easy to get lost if you don't have a very steady system in place, especially once you have more and more clients, things get a lot more complicated. So make sure you have a very good system in place. I learned the hard way. So
I completely understand, definitely. And thank you for, I think, shedding light on that for not just myself, but many people listening, like, and just going even more in depth into like these timelines and what that looks like. And, maybe just reassuring the audience that waiting is normal. It's going to happen. It's not a if, it's definitely a when. And those timelines definitely vary, I'm assuming, between based off of the different types of visas you may be applying for. Am I correct?
yes, it varies a lot, and every month changes, right? Actually, right now the EB-2 and EB-3 is skilled. They're not that far apart. I believe 5 months or so. But unskilled, you're gonna have to wait a very long time. That's EB-3, and EB-2, you're gonna have to be very, very patient, especially with your client that's going to be asking a lot of questions, and just got to understand that that's how it works.
Thank you. Thank you. You are a wealth of knowledge. To our amazing audience, thank you for joining us. If you're just tuning in from any social media platform, we're excited to have attorney Andre Linhares with us, a seasoned immigration attorney who has contributed significantly to today's topics. This is immigrationquestion.com, a platform designed to simplify the immigration process. Ask your immigration questions for free in any language and get connected with a verified attorney who can offer you legal guidance. You may also receive a free, confidential initial consultation. Visit www.immigrationquestion.com and sign up today. Very quickly, Attorney Andre, for a platform that seeks to aid the immigration journey of every documented and undocumented immigrant by connecting them with seasoned attorneys just like yourself, what do you think of immigrationquestion.com and what we've done for the immigration community?
It's again, it's very, very, very helpful. Very important to have that line of communication, line of understanding and learning. So the fact that you can contact an attorney and have that kind of direct line of information is crucial. We go through unfortunately, that's something that I actually complain a lot, but we go through at this point of a lot of unlawful practice of law. There's a lot of people out there. There's just like, they don't really care. They are just, unfortunately, getting a lot of people in trouble because they're not doing the right thing and the right legal advice. So having a platform as an opportunity, to really get legal advice. It's especially, again, this day and age, legal advice, it's crucial. Getting the right, proper legal advice, it's very important. Now, we're not talking only, of course, not only EB-1, EB-2, EB-3s or employment based. Now we're going through the whole spectrum. We have to be getting the proper legal advice in any case, even like family-based case. I think it's not our subject, of course, but a lot of things are going to. We're expecting a lot of change on that. We're expecting change on anything, like literally. So be prepared, and having that understanding it's very important for anybody right now that is seeking a legal status in the United States.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Before we jump into the live Q&A, one last question for you. What are some common mistakes that applicants make and how can they avoid them?
From the lawyer's, there's two separate issues here. From the lawyer's perspective, it's just a matter of how the lawyer is going to approach your case, the experience with the EB-2 and IW, because The EB-2 NIW is a different animal. It's something completely different from most other immigration forms and cases. It's really, really different. I know many lawyers that work with, even like L's or E's, and they're, when I sometimes when I have a conversation like, this is not what, like it's not. They're not even used to it because it's something they really have to present, build up a case, present a case, present the theory to the government, and the government's going to have to read it, analyze the evidence and understand and accept that or deny it, of course. But it's a case where you don't have just to go through a checklist or anything like that. Of course, we do have checklists, but the checklist is completely variable. There's no such thing as easy or direct process on the EB-2s. Even the officers vary a lot in their judgment. Where you can get completely different separate like results from very similar cases because each officer sometimes sees different because it is very, very subjective. So that's one thing I've seen a lot, especially in the EB-2 NIW. And EB-1 also. EB-1 extraordinary ability and EB-2 NIW, which those two can be self-petition. It's very tricky. So you really, really have to understand how to make up a case. Okay, that's a huge pitfall. How do you build a case, a convincing and solid case to get an approval? That is really, really if I can give you an advice to anybody, focus on how to build a very solid case. Okay, it's easy to say it, it sounds general, but it's not, because you have to build a story based on evidence, but it has to be a very nice and convincing story. If it's not, you may not get an approval.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is the importance of having a qualified, really great immigration attorney during these processes, because you do not want to make any of these mistakes or fall victim to any of these mistakes. Thank you so much. To our audience, the floor is now open for questions. This has been such an exciting conversation. We're excited to keep it going. Please feel free to type your questions into the chat box and we'll try to address as many as possible. If you want to call us live and ask your questions directly, you can dial 516-703-3483. Ooh, we have our first question. If I apply for EB-1 and I don't get it, will it affect if I apply for EB-2 or EB-3 in the future?
Great question. Not at all. You can apply for an EB-1, EB-2, EB-3. You can apply for all of them concurrent. Actually, if you if you think that you could, qualify, have different ways of qualifying for the one or the other, you could apply. You can also apply for, if you got a denial, for example, you can reapply, apply. I had cases where I got an approval on the third filing. So that happens. You file once, deny, file third time, approved. So no, you can actually absolutely apply for an EB-1, EB-2, EB-3. Just make sure you got a good case for all of them. Do not just without going too far, but just don't go by this because EB-1 is current. I'm going to file for an EB-1 just because my client is already in the United States and my client will be able to adjust. I'm not really a fan of finding cases without supported evidence, like good evidence for that specific category. So just be careful with that because again, we're in different times. So before, most likely you probably get an RFE and maybe a denial, which will be bad already, but now you can get annoyed. So, or a straight denial.
Thank you. Next, we have from Leonardo. Me and my wife are highly skilled. Is it better to apply under different EB categories, or do we have to choose one person as the main applicant?
You can choose one person as a main applicant, or you can apply for you and her on the same category or different categories. So pick and choose your best strategy. So you can file pretty much if you both qualify for EB-2 and IW, for example, both could file, which of course is much better because now you're increasing your chances of success.
Elsie writes, how will the EB-2 national interest waiver work for me if I'm not in the US? Do I need a job offer or can I apply from outside?
Right now, you can absolutely apply from outside. Is actually the best route today. Applying from outside, you do not need a job offer. That's one of the things about the EB-2 NIW. There's that's why it's called waive the job offer after especially matter of even before the DANOSAR, but matter of DANOSAR clearly states that you can waive the job offer. That's part of what the visa is. So you can apply from outside. You should apply from outside right now, unless if you're in the U.S. with another work visa or something. If not, you should apply from outside, and you don't need a job offer.
Awesome. Bashiru writes, I did not go to college, but I have 15 years of experience in business. Can it work for EB-2 or EB-1?
Great question. That's a very good one. Interesting. So EB-1 is a little bit more complex because EB-1 is extraordinary ability, and you have to qualify for 3 criteria after all those like 10 or 15, 11 criteria that you have in the law. But remember, it's extraordinary ability, so you're pretty much like the 1% of your profession. If you are, even without college, you could, although EB-1 is more tricky on that. You could, but it's a lot more tricky to qualify for an EB-1 without a college degree. But EB-2, not really, because EB-2 also has a category called exceptional ability, where if you don't qualify as advanced degree, usually we do master's, doctorate is advanced degree. If you don't have master's, a doctorate, you can qualify as bachelor's plus 5 years, which is usually that's what we prefer. Most people, most of our clients, we try to get on that. But if not, especially in the technology area, IT, it's very, very common not to have clients that went through a bachelor's, but they do have more than 10 years of experience, very, very qualified professionals. And if you go through 6, 7 criteria, if you qualify to like 3, then you can absolutely get your EB-2 and any certificate or course completion, license, 10 years of experience, high salary. All those are the criteria that you can actually look into and qualify. So you could, yes.
Thanks. Any more questions, or was that it? I think that was our last question. All right. Perfect. So before we go, would you like to say anything else to the audience? Leave them with any words of wisdom and also where to find you and get in contact with you.
Yes, thank you. Well, first is make sure you get a qualified attorney professional to it doesn't have to be me, but I'm just saying just get a good professional because it became more complex in the last 6 months. The EB-2 especially is a lot more complex. There are changes there just happened January 15th this year on the policy manual. Very important changes. So especially like our friend there's asking about the not having a college degree, but or bachelor's degree, I'm sorry, and but have 15 years of experience, that goes as exceptional ability. Then the exceptional abilities became a little more tricky after January 15th. So my point is, make sure you try to find an attorney that is actually qualified or has experience on the EB-2 NIW, because again, it's a different animal, it's a different thing, and that would be, I guess, probably my one of my greatest suggestion. But right now the time is not the best, but it's still one of the best ways of getting a green card through employment, even without having the job offer, which is we just went through the H-1B now. I know it's nerve wracking. So, and clients, they don't get in the lottery system, And so you don't have to go through any of that with the NIW, which is, and you get a green card straight. You don't have to wait many years to apply for a green card. You're ready. You're there. So it's an amazing visa.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Oh, I think we have one more question that came through. We'll definitely answer this. Aurora asked, my boss wants to sponsor me for EB-3, but I also want to build my business on the side. Can I do that as I wait for my green card?
You can only do that if you're authorized to work at this moment with some other work visa. You cannot do that while you wait for your EB-3 because you're at that point when you're going through the process. You don't have work permit, to the AD card. Let's just be more technical. If you don't have that, unfortunately, you shouldn't be working because that could be a problem in the future. If the USCIS finds out that you're waiting for a visa for your EB-3 to get approved, and you got your EB-3 approved, then you go through the 485, and everything is nice, happy. You're very close from getting a green card, and it comes that RFE or that question about, have you ever worked in the United States without authorization? And now what are you going to do? And if you start working now with your own business, you do. So the business does not opening an LLC will not protect you against unauthorized employment. So be very cautious about that, especially nowadays. Things are getting a lot more tougher.
Definitely. Thank you. Oh, another one. Halima asks, can I change from EB-3 to EB-2 if I get higher qualifications while my green card is processing?
Absolutely, you can change for it. Well, let me go back for a second. You don't really change your I-140. You have to file a new I-140. So if you have your EB-3 going on, but now you have more better qualifications for an EB-2, you can absolutely file for an EB-2 as well. So you can have your EB-3 I-140 going on, coming here, moving here, and you can have your EB-2 at the same time. Not a problem.
Good stuff. See if anyone else has asked anything. I think that might have been the last one. Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you so much for answering those additional questions.
Problem.
That brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much, Attorney Linhares, for joining us today. You've been a wealth of knowledge. We hope to see you again. Thank you for sharing your expertise. We hope that all the viewers have enjoyed today's session and we've answered all of your questions. If you have any additional questions, please visit immigrationquestion.com to connect with an immigration attorney, such as Attorney Andre here today, or someone in your area who can guide you through your journey. If you've missed any part of today's session or want to listen again, the recording will be available on Spotify and wherever you'd like to stream. To catch today's episode and past ones, search for Borderless Talk with immigrationquestion.com. Join us next week for another great session on employment-based immigration. Have a great day and enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.